What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Fit to Fat to Fit Experience podcast. I'm your host, Drew Manning, flying solo today. Lynn is not here. I will be doing this interview by myself. So today, you guys, we are diving in with Seth and Dave from last night's episode of Fit to Fat to Fit on A&E. This is episode number 9 of the show. And just like every other week, I have the trainer and client come on to talk about more behind-the-scenes stuff of what went down, what didn't get shown on camera, and all the questions that you guys usually ask me, I kind of dive into with them in this 45-minute to 60-minute episode, which is great because you guys get to see a small little glimpse into what it was like for them during the Fit to Fat to Fit journey, both for Seth and Dave. With Seth, we kind of dive into more behind the scenes of his philosophies on nutrition. We kind of dive into juicing a little bit, and what kind of nutrition plan he had Dave on during the weight loss journey. We talk about how Seth was humbled during this process and how he kind of used to be overweight before this journey, but kind of not, and how it was different for him this time around doing Fit to Fat. With Dave, we kind of get into his military background and how that helped him with his discipline, which he admits that the exercise ended up being easier for him, which for some people it is. But so that wasn't a surprise for me. But we kind of dive into what happened to him after the show. He did gain some of the weight back. He talks about how he was able to overcome that and find balance. From the show, it is kind of extreme during the 4-month weight loss period. But he talks about how he was able to transition into more of a sustainable, healthy lifestyle. So we talk about those tips and definitely a lot of hidden gems in this episode for you guys to take away and apply in your own lives. But before we jump into today's episode, the sponsor is none other than dollarworkoutclub.com. You guys have heard us talk about Dollar Workout Club. If you haven't checked it out yet, definitely check it out, you guys. It's only $1 a week, and you get access to at-home workout videos, you get access to healthy recipe videos, and you get access to motivational videos from me, Lynn, and Natalie Hodson. So you get 5 new videos of workouts, 5 new videos of recipes, and 5 new videos of motivation videos every single week, and all you pay is just $1. There's no contracts, no hidden fees, no long-term commitments. It's super easy to follow, you guys, and we deliver new content every single week. We create new recipes every single week, so it's never repeats, you guys. It's always new content, and so we appreciate you guys being a part of that. Definitely, I would recommend checking it out, or you can even gift a subscription to someone if you know someone that does their workouts from home and that can benefit from these 10 to 20 minute workouts. And it can be done at any fitness level, you guys, beginner, intermediate, or advanced. So it definitely works for just about anybody that is looking to get in shape. So check it out, dollarworkoutclub.com. Now let's go hang out with Seth and Dave. All right, Seth and Dave, welcome to the Fit to Fat to Fit Experience podcast. How are you guys doing today?
Doing good. How are you, Drew? Good stuff. Good stuff.
I'm doing good. Thank you guys so much for joining me. Great episode last night, you guys. So blown away, so inspirational. Now, your guys' episode really reminded me of JJ and Ray's. Like, people were really inspired and saw how they bonded. It was cool to see you guys come together and bond. I kind of want to take a step back and start from the beginning. For you, Seth, what was it like when you initially found out what this TV show was about, like the fat gaining phase? What was your initial response to it?
Yeah, I'll never forget the conversation with the casting director. Originally, they were calling it Master Trainer, and I'm like, that's right, I am a Master Trainer. Fantastic. And we talked for like 30 minutes, and I'm like, this is it. I'm going to be on the show. It's going to be fantastic. I could profile how I blend strength conditioning with yoga. This is right up my alley. And then the casting agent was like, well, there's one kick. And she told me, the whole fit to fat to fit. And I was mentally so committed at that point to take part of this reality show that I would have done basically anything. And then once I kind of thought about it and looked into you a little bit, it was a no-brainer. Like, I was diving into this experience with the attitude I take in everything I do in life, which is just give it my all and make the most of it. So it was maybe a second of hesitation. Then I figured I was going to enjoy the process, and it's impossible to have any expectations of what it was like, but I was cool.
Yeah, no, that's interesting, man. They're like just a minor little detail, not a big deal, but just sign here first and we'll tell you what it's about.
Yeah,
I'm just kidding.
I don't tell people things until it happens. Like I told my brother, my dad, some friends, and then I was like, now I got to get fat. Nothing was going to stop me, Drew.
Yeah, that's funny. Now, Dave, have you applied for other TV shows to be on weight loss TV shows?
No, this was my first time ever applying to do anything remotely similar to this.
How did you what pushed you to try out for it? Like what was the thought process there?
It was a Facebook thing that I found, and it was, my son was just born, so I was looking for different alternatives, and why not? Let's give it a shot.
Okay, so getting back to you, Seth, I saw your casting video.
Oh, cool.
And there was a point where you actually were kind of overweight before this,
yes.
Right? At one point in time, before you became a trainer.
Yeah, well, so I was always an athlete, but I was always the scrawniest, skinniest kid, to the point where my physical for my high school soccer team, the doctor said if I was going to play any other sport, he wouldn't sign the physical. I was so skinny. So little comments like that my whole life kind of mentally scarred me a little bit. So when I got into college, I decided I wanted to get muscular. And a buddy of mine started kind of training with, and he basically told me the only way to get big is to eat. So in the 4 years of college, I went from about 150 to I got up to 220. I didn't think I was fat at the time. I thought I was, muscular, fit. But in hindsight, it wasn't a good look for me. So yeah, I mean, my waist was up to a 37. My chest was huge. My arms were big. I just looked like a power lifter. Not fit, not lean or anything like that. Then I went and traveled through Europe and the Middle East for 4 months, and I couldn't eat like a pig anymore. Did a lot of calisthenics, and I got cut, kept my strength. My arms and chest stayed the same. My waist went down to a 32, and that's where I've been living really comfortably since.
Yeah, so that's the thing is you were exercising at the time. You were powerlifting still.
Exactly.
Versus this was different. You were sedentary for the first time in your life, right?
Exactly. Even when I first found out about the show, this is awesome. I'm going to eat like a pig, and I'm going to do a whole bunch of strength work. I'm going to do 10 sets of, 10 reps of 4, heavy weight, eat a cheeseburger in between sets. This would be awesome. And then they're like, oh yeah, by the way, there's no exercise either.
Yeah.
That freaked me out more than the eating part.
Interesting, man. Yeah, I know, because people would be when I did my journey, they were like, oh, so you're doing a bulking thing just like bodybuilders. I mean, no, I'm not exercising at all. This is all pure fat. I'm not gaining muscle during these 6 months, So yeah, that's interesting. So what is your gym and your focus, your training focus? Who's your typical client? Is Dave your typical client? Do you focus on people that are overweight, or do you work with high-end athletes and trying to help them become better at their sports?
The name of my gym, it's my little baby. It's Ironline Fitness, and we're all over the spectrum. We have 80-year-old ex-business CEOs all the way down to high school athletes trying to improve performance. We train a lot of equestrians who are professional athletes in their equestrian fields, overweight, fit. We're literally all over the place. We're just a boutique little fitness studio that our take-home message is that you feel better about yourself after you walk in the door than when you walked in the door. And we have the education and the tools to provide whatever your goals and expectations are to deliver. So we are all over the spectrum, and we like it that way. And we're always growing, evolving, and improving. So we feel confident that we can help anybody.
That's awesome. Now, Dave, have you worked with a personal trainer before?
Just at the big box gyms, trying something with there. I actually went a couple years ago. I was working with a personal trainer, going to a small boutique gym, but it was working on a device, and I had some good results from that, but their cost was a little high, and there wasn't really any food avenues of way to follow. Just come to the gym a couple times a week and sit in the sauna and do this machine.
Yeah, no, that's interesting. The reason I ask that is because in your episode, in the beginning, you say, there's no way a personal trainer could understand what a fat person goes through. Did you feel like there was a connection or empathy or understanding from your other personal trainers versus, your trainer, Seth, now? Was there a difference?
Well, now I see there is, when we first started the workout phase or the get to fit phase, that, I did see the empathy there. But when I first met him, no, I didn't feel that at all. And when you're at the big box gyms, it's the same thing. They're just going to have you do your sets, and if you do it, great. If you don't do it, whatever. And nobody really takes that personal connection with anybody. They're always these scrawny little bastards.
Well, I always tell people that it's called personal training, and the personal for me is more important than the training. I mean, at the end of the day, anybody could tell somebody to do exercise, but it's all about building that personal connection, finding out where that person's coming from, what their goals are, and putting together a program, that is going to suit their personality and their mentality more than just, exercise programming.
Yeah, that's really interesting. And that's the reason I ask, is to get people's perceptions of personal trainers, because that's the whole idea with this Fit to Fat to Fit movement, is to bridge this gap that exists out there between people who are overweight that look at trainers, skinny fit people as these people that are lucky, their genetics, and they're just so foreign to them. But to bridge that gap and help the understanding on both sides, to get these people who are trainers and skinny and fit to understand that it's not as easy as they think. And it's not just about the physical aspects of weight loss, meal plans, exercises, eat less, work out more. It's not as easy as just do it, right? Which a lot of us think, if we've been overweight or in shape our whole lives, we think, look, just do it. It's not that hard, until you do something like Fit to Fat to Fit, right, Seth?
It's not in my head over here. Like, yeah, it is hard, and it honestly, it sucks. I tell everybody after this experience, I used to be able to tell people, like, just do it. I don't understand. Just don't eat this. Eat this. It's simple. And then the coolest thing happened about 2-3 weeks into me getting fit again. I did everything perfect, Drew, like 100%. Eating, dieting, sleeping, supplementing. I was on point. And I just had a great workout, took my shirt off. I go to walk out to my car, and my best friend's like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "I'm going to my car." He's like, "You can't walk outside. You're fat." In my head, I was like mentally back to fit. And then I looked in the mirror and I was like, "Oh my God, I am fat." And it was like deflating. Like, dude, I did everything perfect for 3 weeks. I should be fit by now. And it was like a deflating moment, but that was like a pivotal moment for me to, like, now I could really, like, I practice what I preach now. And I gave myself a pep talk of, it's a process. You didn't get here in 3 weeks. It's going to take more time. So that was like the coolest experience, for my personal experience to come from this, was now I can talk to people and say, I know it stinks when you make all these sacrifices, and it's hard to say no to dessert and eat all the right things and not get the results immediately. But you got to keep chopping away and just know that it's a system, it's a process.
Yeah. So Dave, I kind of want to get your perspective, and I've asked other clients this as well. I just kind of want to hear your thoughts. Did you find value in Seth doing the Fit to Fat journey before trying to train you? Was there value that you saw in him doing this versus if he was just a normal trainer that had never had this experience? If there was there value for you, and if so, how did it help you in your journey?
Well, it totally helped, because now you have somebody who's working out with you that actually hasn't been working out in a while, but knows the right way to do the way you're supposed to be doing stuff. And, now that they're, granted, 4 months for a fit person isn't a lot, they cut quick. He was already fit by 2 months in, he was already back to normal.
Also no.
But, it's the, just by having him have a glimpse of what was where the appreciation came from.
That's kind of what I wanted to hit on right there, was just a glimpse. And that's what we try and, I try and portray to people is like, look, we're not coming across and saying, look, we understand exactly what you're going through, or we understand your struggles now because we did this for 4 months or 6 months. We got a glimpse of kind of how hard it is. And we were blown away at we thought it was one way, and it's so much more mental and emotional than we ever imagined. And it opens up their eyes. I just want to see if there was value in it for you. And I really appreciate that, because I can definitely tell the clients on the show, for the most part, show their appreciation. Like, man, this guy sacrificed, his body and mind for 4 months. It's time for me to sacrifice my body and mind, for the next 4 months or for the rest of my life, to understand that I have to live this lifestyle. So it's really cool to see that in your guys' episode as well. Seth, I want to talk about your Fit to Fat journey a little bit because they take 4 months of content and, package it into 20 minutes maybe of the show, so like a lot of stuff was missed out. Obviously that first meal was intense. You threw up and you tried really hard, but like, tell us a little bit more about the struggle stuff that happened off camera, behind the scenes that we didn't get to see on camera, because honestly, they just showed you, you stopped manscaping, and what was it like for you mentally and emotionally off camera, like during those 4 months?
Yeah, I mean, I took this attitude that I'm going to have as much fun and try to enjoy it as much as I could. But after like 2 days, it was really a struggle. It reaffirmed my beliefs. So it really validated how I feel. And that's, the happiness is from within, and external things shouldn't affect your moods. But it's hard, man. It's really hard when you feel like a sloth, I had no energy. I just was drained all the time. So mentally, I'm giving myself pep talks, but I literally felt like a sloth for 4 months. And then the biggest thing was I just didn't feel authentic. Like I didn't feel like I was being true to myself, and that made me just blah. The eating too. I mean, you begin to resent food. I do love food. I consider myself a foodie, and I eat, relatively bad, but I pick my spots, like I'll be super clean for 6 weeks, and I go on vacation and eat like a moose for a week, and then come home and get right back to work. So I thought this experience would just be like 4 months of that, and it really wasn't. You really learn really quick the cause and effect of food.
Yeah, and that's the interesting thing. Like you said, happiness does really come from within, but it's really hard to be happy when your health is at risk, when your hormones are out of balance. And that's what people don't realize. They think if they eat a cheeseburger and fries, yeah, they'll gain some weight, but they don't realize that affects you at the cellular level, and you're physiologically changing on the inside. And it changes your mood. It changes your personality, even though you can, you say to yourself, well, I need to be happy from within. At the same time, the food goes inside of you and it changes, your brain chemistry in a way. And that's what it does to you, other than just causes you to gain weight. So that's what food is so powerful. And people don't realize that when you're a healthier you really are a happier you. I'm not saying you can't be happy and overweight. I know a lot of people that are confident and happy that are overweight. But what I'm saying is you can be a lot happier if your health is in check. So it's very interesting. I remember talking to you during the Fit to Fat gaining journey, Seth, trying to help you out. What I think would be interesting, honestly, you guys, is if we changed up the show and had Dave coach you on how to gain the weight. Just be, have him train you on gaining the weight, to give you his tips of how he gains the weight and how he eats the food. And maybe that would have helped some of the trainers out, because it's the opposite end where you're telling them how to lose the weight. I thought it would have been funny to have Dave do that.
Well, we did some of that, but I don't think it ever. I actually recorded a segment on that, but I don't think Seth ever saw it. I think we just had to write it down.
Yeah.
I actually remember having a film part of that, and I got really into it. I was like, you gotta go to this restaurant, you gotta go to that restaurant, you gotta go there, you gotta eat it this way,
Yeah.
I was hoping to see that, but when I started seeing the JJ's episode and the other ones, I noticed that there was some stuff that I thought would have made great sense to make into this, but it never did it.
Yeah, but no, that's okay. I mean, obviously, there's a lot of stuff that was cut out, to fit this into 45 minutes. But now, Seth, you kind of beat yourself up because you didn't hit your goal. Were you really upset about that? Like, do you feel like, man, I really should have tried harder? Because, I mean, here's the thing. You threw up again right before you weighed in, and you're like, well, man, I just lost 3 pounds right there. And,
yeah.
What I'm saying? Like, but you really felt kind of deflated in a way. How real was that? And tell us about your thoughts going through your head at that time.
My biggest thought was I was so mentally ready to be getting fit again. Like I was ready, man. Like that was my last meal. I was ready to get back to my ways. I had my juice cleanse lined up. I was ready to go. And knowing that, I came up just short, I was under the impression I was going to have to continue eating.
Oh,
so,
okay.
Yeah, so it was just a huge bummer thinking that I was going to have to keep going.
Until you hit your goal.
Until I hit my goal. So that was the thing, is I was mentally last gross meal, and I was so ready to get back. So to come up just short that last weigh, and I was definitely bummed, thinking that I was gonna have to go another week or so.
Yeah. Okay, that makes more sense then. That makes more sense of why I'm like, man, you were close. You gained a lot of weight, but yeah, you were really bummed about that, which is cool. It kind of says a lot about your personality of when you take on a challenge, you do that challenge and you succeed at it, right? But this is a little bit different. No one really purposely does this, as a challenge, in the fitness industry. So it's a little bit unique. Okay, let's fast forward to you guys' first workout, which, I'll be honest, it was very inspirational. Dave, you are a very inspirational guy, and you having a military background, I thought made for a great scene, because here you are, you haven't worked out in a long time, but you like that discipline. You remember that discipline, how important it was to you, kind of someone telling you what to do, yelling at you, being militant about it. Whereas most people, feel bad for the clients on the first workout, because they're like, man, this trainer's so mean. They're making them throw up and puke, and they're so broken down. But you kind of thrive on that in the scene, which was really cool. And at one point, Seth is like, you're done, man. You don't need to go any further. And you keep pushing. Where did that come from? Has that always been a part of your life, or do you think that was from the military?
I don't want to give all the credit to the military. Obviously, my parents had a big to-do on that. But the military did, break you when you first go in, and then, they build you back up. So they do give you that fitness level. But being a hockey coach, I'm the same way when I'm coaching. It's, you push and push and push, because, you only get 30 seconds to get that game-winning goal, So the goal to get back on the ice is, still relatively close right now. And, just wanting to get back into that mode. So the working out of all this time was the easiest part of this whole journey. I actually loved every part of it. I had some, there was some spots where in the beginning, I couldn't really do a whole lot, which was really depressing, but it started to come back.
Yeah, no, and I could tell, for some people, the exercise is the easiest part of it, right? They know how to push their bodies, especially if they're a former athlete or military, they know how to push their bodies to the limit. And it was cool to see that, but at one point you kind of broke down and were very emotional, and all these emotions came to you, but you kept going. And whereas I think a lot of people would have stopped. And I think that's really inspiring to a lot of people to know that, your body can do amazing things. It really can if you push it past its brink, and you've probably experienced that it being in the military. You know that your body can do amazing things, and Seth, you've seen that as well. So it was really cool to see you push past that point and just keep going. I think that's going to inspire so many people that watch that scene. Seth, did you know that you were going to have to do the same workout? And if so, did you design it a certain way to be harder or not as hard, knowing that you had to do it too?
No, I designed it with Dave in mind, and I was so excited to work out, man. I wanted to struggle. I wanted to just feel my heart beat again. I wanted to breathe heavy and sweat, not just from being fat. I was stoked to get in there and do it.
Yeah.
I had no expectations of what to expect. I assumed, I'd be not where I was 4 months before, but I was excited just to feel my muscles again and get my heart pumping. So I was just excited to struggle through movement again.
Yeah, no, that's cool, man. I really appreciate that, your honesty there. I kind of want to dive into, you talked about a juice cleanse. I want to talk about your nutrition philosophy. Tell us about what your strategy was for you. Obviously, it sounds like you did a juice cleanse. Did you have Dave just follow suit, do the exact same thing you were doing? Or what did you have him do?
Well, I like to do juice reboots where 6 or 7 juices spread out throughout the day. You get all your nutrients, you're getting your calories. It's just simple. For me, mentally, it's easy to do, especially with my busy work structure. But at the end of the day, like that was just like a reboot for me to get started. And then normally I'm just a very simple protein, vegetables, and then 6 small meals every 3 hours, mixed couple of meals. I throw in some good carbs, and I keep it pretty simple. I'm very simple. So I think originally that's what I kind of asked Dave to do. But early on, Dave was like, I can't eat cold chicken. I can't eat salad. I can't do all these things. I'm like, dude, you get a little cooler bag. You get 6 Tupperware. It's simple. Don't worry about it. So Dave struggled with that at first. And then once I realized that struggled with that, once I got to know Dave and see what his lifestyle was with his work schedule, it just boiled down to that juicing would be the most efficient for Dave as well. So we got Dave juicing, and we mixed it up. We would be, a couple days of juicing, couple days eating, couple days mixed juices and eating. Really, we just found the juicing to be a very convenient way to get our nutrients. And Dave actually said it best. He said to beat the hunger. If you eat something every 3 hours, you never get those hunger pangs that are like unsatisfiable. Kind of always just staying ahead of the hunger. And then the greatest thing was Dave went on a pretty big juice cleanse, a couple days, maybe 6 days, 7 days. And he called me up. And he's like, it was like the afternoon. I'm like, oh no, Dave never calls me. So I answer the phone, and he's like, I love you. I can't do it, man. I can't do it anymore. I'm about to throw up. I'm gagging on it. And I'm like, dude, go get a chicken breast, go get some vegetables, make a salad. And he told me later that day, he's like, dude, it tasted so freaking good. So it's like, it's all perspective. The foods that couldn't imagine ever eating early on became like delicious to him. And now I'm looking at his desk and I see Quest bars and protein shakes and, so it's all just education and learning.
So when you say juice, do you actually use a juicer, or do you blend it up in like a blender, like a blend tech, and you have like a smoothie, or is it like pure juice?
No, we mixed it up. We used a blend tech to do our own juices. We're boys. We don't really pay attention to recipes.
Okay, gotcha.
It's kind of like, here's some spinach, here's some of this, here's some of this, throw it in.
And just chug it.
Yeah, basically. Yeah. It's cool. We'd add some like protein powder and things like that. So I mean, like, I knew from a physiological standpoint, it's a perfect meal. Like, we got everything we need nutrient wise. The taste, most people would probably gag on. But then we would also go to the store and get some ready to drink juices. And that became, there's a market next to Iron Lion that had sales on juices, and Dave would just buy like 24 at a time and be like, mindlessness, I'm loaded for the next 6 days or so. So
I started carrying around a cooler, and it was just every couple hours have one of those with a bunch of water, and it just made it so much easier.
I think Dave learned, and he can speak for himself, but it's all about just setting yourself up for success and kind of knowing a day ahead of what your next day will be. And if it's juices or food, it doesn't really matter, but you can never get in a situation where you don't know what your next meal is, because then it's too late. Then you're hungry. Then you're like, find me some golden arches. I need to eat.
Exactly. So Dave, how was it for you with like doing the juicing? Have you ever done that before, or was this your first time? And then like, was it really disgusting, or did it become easier over time? Like, what was your experience during the weight loss journey?
Well, in the beginning, everything was hard, just because, like, I typically I just eat a lot at night. Typically, I don't eat a lot during the day, beforehand. I'm on the go all day long, and I'm really just in my office for a whole day. So I'm seeing different clients throughout the day. So I would sometimes not eat breakfast and eat something in mid-lunch, and then have a big dinner when you get home, or not eat all day, then just have dinner. So, years of doing that is where it got me into the shape I was in, and getting into a structure just made it so much easier. But I had trouble in the beginning with the prepping because, I just didn't have the time to do it. I didn't want to have to cook an extra, whatever it was, to make sure I was ready to go the next day. Seth had these, he has this cooler that does all that and has little containers in it and all that stuff. And, it looked really cool at the time. And I was like, yeah, that looks nice. I still didn't do it. And then we got into the juices, and one branded juices was okay. Some of them were, I like the fruitier ones, but those are higher in sugar, and he didn't want me on those. So I had to start doing the more vegetable ones. And there was just one that I just couldn't do. Yeah. When I called him, it was the time to do that particular one, because I'll always leave them to the last, I just couldn't. And then I actually went on the way home, and we stopped at the grocery store, and I stopped off at the store and bought that same bag that he has, and it became my new best friend. And it was so much easier having a container place to put all your stuff for the next day, and and actually bringing it to clients' offices. And when they're eating lunch, I'm pulling out mine. They're like, "What are you doing?" So it was, it took a good, almost 3 months before I was able to get into that mode. So it took my finding the food process took a lot longer than I wanted it, but it was rough. It was rough. It just, the light bulb went off, and that's when I started having better results too, was when I was actually prepping for the food.
Yeah, no, I think that's one of the keys to maintaining a healthy lifestyle, is knowing what you're going to eat and when you're going to eat it, because you can't always trust yourself if you're leaving it to chance, like, oh, I'm going to eat healthy today, but I have no food prepared. I'm just going to go out for breakfast, lunch, and dinner here and there, and I'll find something healthy. But it's so hard to do, it takes a lot of willpower to do something like that. So let's talk about transitioning from the show to now, because it's been about 5 months since you stopped filming, and that's where a lot of people want to know, like, okay, well, of course they're going to lose weight because the cameras are on them and they have a trainer, and like, okay, what about when they're in real life mode? What does that look like? Are you doing juicing for 6-7 days? Are you working out as much? And like, give us like a glimpse into what your lifestyle is like, or what it's been like after the filming of the show, and where you're at now.
Where I'm at now, I'm actually the same as I was when the show stopped. I took a big break, and I was just completely burnt out when the show was up, and I actually gained weight back. And then I reached out to Seth, and we've actually been working out quite a bit since then, and I ended up losing all my weight that I gained. So I was actually 2 pounds lower than the show weight. My clothes are actually looser than I was at the show weight too. So all in all, I actually just ran a 5K this past weekend. So yeah, that was we actually started training for that in January, and that was huge. So that was one bucket list check off, and it's just, I've been able to, maintain the weight I've been at, but I still want to get lower. And, we just gotta,
Can we talk about the program we're going to start doing?
Yeah, absolutely.
So the coolest thing to me is when, it was really, we took a break for the holidays, and that's when Dave went up north, and we still stayed in touch. We weren't training like we were then. When Dave got home, we decided to continue doing what we're doing. And it's basically Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. excuse me. 5 days a week, Dave comes in, and
I got a friend coming in too. So
Dave he's already inspired a friend. So it's the three of us. And then maybe a month or two ago, Dave said to me, "Hey man, after the show airs, would it be okay if I start a little class for people kind of like not only overweight but feel kind of helpless, so that would be intimidated to come into a gym and get started, like because they don't even know where to start?" So the idea started that Dave would do like a walking club every Wednesday at 7 a.m. where he would just walk with people, and we'll talk and answer questions, talk about nutrition, lifestyle, things like that. And then that was like the idea. But now we've been talking a little bit more, and starting the week or two after the show airs, we're gonna be doing like a Seth and Dave fit to fat to fit program for people where Dave's going to be leading it. He's going to be a big part of it. So to me, the fact that everything Dave and I did together educated him and inspired him to want to do the same for others made everything worth it. And we're excited to put this program together and start inspiring other people.
Wow, that is actually really cool. But it's very, very smart to do something like that, Dave. Because here's the thing: is like so many people after these TV shows of weight loss TV shows, they gain the weight afterwards because now all the fame and the glory is gone, and there's no accountability. Doing something like this is going to be something that helps to keep you accountable. And you talk about that in your episode of staying accountable to someone and leading a class like this where people are looking to you for inspiration and you're leading it. It's like, okay, well, I have to stay accountable. I can't, tell people one thing and then go home and live a different thing. Like, you have to stay accountable to these people and have integrity. So I think that's really, really smart, very powerful. People are going to love that. I think that's a great idea. So kudos to you. But here's the thing is I want to touch on is, I think people expect like, okay, now that the show's over, they're going to gain all the weight back. But, it's a lifestyle. It's not just, a 4-month diet that you're on. Yes, you do want to lose a lot of weight to look good at your finale. We understand that. But people want to know like, okay, how does a normal person with kids and a family, how do they maintain this lifestyle? Because people think, well, I have to dedicate all this time to meal prepping. I have to dedicate all this time to working out. And I just have to work, and I have bills to pay. And it's just not a priority in my life. But it's great to see you be an example to those that think that. And you're able to fit this lifestyle into your schedule, even though you're a busy man, you have kids and things like that. So
one of the things that we've introduced at home is, when I get home, depending on what time of the hour is, if it's not too late, I'll actually strap my son on my back and we'll go for a walk. And then, my daughter was actually running with me a little bit too when I was trying to get ready for the run or for the 5K. So now, the whole family's starting to get active. My wife's actually she's actually helping with the meal prep, and she's actually making my daily meals too. So, we do all different kinds of food. So we're actually working together now. So that's actually helping as well.
Yeah, no, I was going to ask about that. Like, how does your family view you on this lifestyle? Do they jump in and they follow suit, or are they kind of doing their own thing? Was it like that during the show, though? Were they, was she meal prepping for you and eating the same foods, or what was it like?
The show was brutal, and there was a couple times that I gave in, And
I'm going to mute myself on this point.
Okay.
I gave in a couple times because they were doing their own thing, and then I always said them it didn't bother me because I was here's my juice and they're sitting there eating a sub or chicken fingers or whatever it was, and then I would lean in to have a bite, get a little taste, or and now. My daughter's a very active soccer player, so she's always going to town. But my parents have actually, for the beginning of the year, they've actually lost about 30 pounds between the both of them, and they're actually going out walking and getting active now. So they're actually on a plan themselves, and they're kind of mimicking what we were doing with the meat and vegetables. And my mom's into these Quest bars like crazy now. So it's cool to see it's starting to go off, and other people are starting to kick on it.
That from day one, I told Dave, "Come on, dude, you're going to inspire so many people from personal that in everyday life to the millions that end up seeing the episode." And I don't think that sunk in until maybe even after the show was over.
It was.
There was a moment though where he realized how powerful he is.
There's a couple people at the gym that they actually go out of their way to come over and say thank you. You're keeping me coming. There's one lady there that she comes just because she'll get to see me. So it's a good thing, and it keeps me wanting to keep going and make sure that I don't gain it all back. I have a lot of clients. I see a lot of people, and even though I'm not losing a lot of weight right now, I'm still maintaining or losing here and there. They're still thinking that I'm losing weight. Granted, I haven't bought any new clothes yet. The jeans I have on now, I actually bought these in October just so I had a pair of jeans to wear, and these are big right now. And I'm still,
We also started doing a lot more strength training the last 3 months. So his shape is changing, even though the scale's not dropping.
Yeah.
During the show, we were more focused on the scale doing a lot of high intensity. Now we're kind of pumping up the weight, so he's getting some guns.
Yeah, we're it's actually we did a video. You know, I did a curl. I can't remember what we curled. I think it was close to 130.
I think he was curling 135.
Wow, that's good.
Yeah.
I was like, keep going. This is awesome.
It was awesome. Yeah. So that's the other thing. You know, his body shape's changing, and he's getting strength.
Yeah, I'm actually wearing 2X shirts. So anything new now, I'm buying my shirts. There's still 2Xs are still a little bit bigger, but 3X is way too big. This is a 4X shirt I'm still on, you know, but they're embroidered and I'm too cheap to go buy new clothes. But, you know, once I buy the 2Xs, I'm going to have to get 1Xs again. So I'm just waiting to get, you know, the next, 30, 40 pounds down, and then I'll go address the wardrobe. So, you know, I got everybody's always saying, you know, you're looking, you know, it still looks like you're losing weight, you know, so that keeps me going too. That definitely helped.
Yeah, no, I can relate to that, and I agree with that. It's good to hear compliments from other people and things like that to help you keep going on the journey, because it's a never-ending journey. That's what people need to realize. There's going to be times when you might gain the weight back or a little bit of it back, and then you lose it again. You get refocused, and sometimes there's ups and downs like that. Now, really quick, there was Seth. You're unique because, you know, here you're the first yogi on the show, you know, and you're a dude, you're buff, and it's, you know, people are going to be surprised by that. How much yoga did you have Dave do, and do you guys still do yoga together, and how much of yoga do you still do?
We do, during the 4 months of filming, we had a yoga date every Wednesday.
Every Wednesday, yeah.
Every Wednesday was Dave's yoga date. He got his own little yoga mat and everything. But for me, yoga mat's very personal. It's like my bridge to myself, really, inwards. So I wanted to get Dave a nice mat that he could kind of call his own. But basically, because we're getting at it 5-6 days a week, like hard, high intensity, I really wanted to take Wednesdays to do yoga. And really, yeah, the flexibility and just relaxation is great, but mindset too. I mean, we do a lot of guided meditations and things like that. So the whole point of the yoga with Dave and I was really helping him reset his mind patterns and let him know how great he is, and really trying to get him to love himself. And so for me, the yoga is just mind and body equally. But once a week we did it, and since we've been done,
we're actually just talking about putting yoga back.
Yeah, because since Dave's friends started working out with us, we haven't done our yoga dates, but we'll be adding it back to our routine.
But it's cool to see guys doing yoga and not thinking it's just for women or just for, you know, hippies or whatever you want to call it. There's some real science behind the benefits of yoga, not just from a physical, but from a mental and emotional perspective. And I'm a big believer in a lot of the benefits of yoga. So I think it's cool that they're able to show that on the episode.
Oh, that makes me so happy to hear that. For me, when I learned how to, I call it yoga breath, or really diaphragmic breathing. When you learn how to breathe properly, when you learn how to focus your mind fully present in the moment, I got stronger. My bench went up, my squat went up. Like, it all complements each other. So it's fantastic when you can blend the two.
And that with my running too is getting that running patterns down, and the yoga definitely helps you realign and get you squared away on that.
Yeah, no, I think a lot of guys, think, well, I just need to be able to lift heavy weights, but it puts so much pressure on your joints and your spine. Like, it's good to give yourself a break from that and learn about flexibility, mobility, and breathing. I mean, what that does to your inner game just helps you, in life, helps you so much more in life, like loving yourself. And you talk about vulnerability on the show, Seth, and I'm a big fan of Brene Brown and her message of being vulnerable and the strength that comes from that, which before I'm like, this is weird. Like, I'm not going to talk about my weaknesses. Like, that's, being vulnerable is weakness, but now I'm a big believer in how it's a strength. So it's cool that you were able to talk about that on the episode.
You're giving me goosebumps, Drew.
No, I mean, I'm a big fan, and so I really like what you do, and it's cool to see you and Dave together and see what you guys have accomplished. It's very, very inspiring to me and to a lot of other people. So thank you guys for your inspiration.
Well, thanks so much.
Thanks for the opportunity.
Yeah, this has been awesome.
Yeah. So anyways, I just want to, before we close, let's have people tell people where they can find you guys, like social media, websites, the name of your gym, the program, what that's going to be called, and where people can follow that.
The name of my gym is Ironline Fitness. We're located in Wellington, Florida. But if anybody wants to check out all my information, go to rebellionyoga.com. On Instagram, I am rebel.lion. And on Facebook, you go to facebook.com/rebellionyoga.
And any other online programs or any other websites people need to go to, or?
Everything's going to be linked off of Rebellion Yoga. You'll be able to find information for everything. And Facebook, Instagram, website.
Gotcha. Dave, people are going to want to reach out to you, ask you questions? Can people get in touch with you, or do you do social media?
I do social media, but I messed up big time on my Facebook profile. I changed my name once, and then I lost it. So unfortunately, I just have one of those generic number names for that. But everybody can get me from my Your Computer Guy website. So it's yourcomputerguyinc.com, and then they can email the support address, and that will come to me if they want to reach out to me.
Okay. Because people are going to be trying to find you, man. They want an Instagram. They want a Snapchat. They want to follow everything you do. They want to see your meals.
I do have Instagram, but I don't do too much on it.
We got Dave on Instagram.
I think it's...
Okay. If nothing else, just post pictures of your meals.
Yeah.
And something like that.
Exactly.
Just a little tip.
You can find Dave on Instagram at Dave O'Keefe18.
There we go.
OKEEFE?
Yep, DAVEOKEEFE18.
Okay. You're going to have a lot of friend requests after this, after the show. Okay, really quick before we close, you guys, because we're running out of time, we do a little fun lightning round question for you guys. I'll take it easy on you guys. Usually when Lynn's here, she's the one who comes up with some pretty, uncomfortable questions. But
I like uncomfortable.
Yeah, we'll keep it simple for you guys. Okay. Seth, what was the one food you ate during your fit to fat journey that you are so disgusted by you'll never eat again?
It was the chili cheese dog.
Yeah, chili cheese dog. Chili. I love chili, but cheese dogs, chili, it's not my best day.
There's a local franchise down. Honestly, I think it's probably a national franchise, but that's awful. It's one of my favorite things to eat, and
dude, just thinking about it, I'm gagging.
That is funny. Dave, what's one thing that Seth made you eat on your weight loss journey that you're like, I never want to touch again?
The day of going to do the first workout, we went to the grocery store, and he was at the house cooking for me, and he tried making me eat a mushroom, and that process did not happen because I almost gagged, almost threw up in my kitchen sink as I was putting it in my mouth. So, that was it right there, the mushroom.
A mushroom. Okay. I actually like mushrooms. Saute it in some butter. It's good, man. Anyways, okay. What was your guys' or Seth, we'll start with you. What was your most embarrassing moment during the 8 months of filming? On or off camera?
Oh, embarrassing. I know I was running with Dave. It was on camera, but we were running and I was way ahead of Dave.
He tried doing a showboat to flip around backwards and he fell on his ass.
Yeah. I went to jog backwards and was like, come on, Dave, you can do it. And I just rolled over my ankle. But it was pretty graceful. I flipped back up. Yeah. But
okay.
You did have an injury on that too.
Yeah, I tweaked my ankle for a couple days, but I didn't stop. But that's the first thing coming to mind.
Okay. Dave, what's yours?
All the crying. That's something I normally don't do. And, there was just not during the interview processes, but I broke down in front of Seth. And when I confessed that I was having some problems, eating things I'm not supposed to be eating, that was, it was hard just to do that, come out clean and do that. But I really don't have – that's probably my most embarrassing is getting caught in the lie.
Interesting. No, I talked about that with Fallon on the podcast because her client kind of went through the same thing of like she knew he was lying because she overheard him talking about something and she asked him and he totally just lied to her face. And it's tough when you're – in the trainer-client relationship sometimes when you're like, okay, you're not seeing progress, something's going on, like either you're lying to me or, you're not following the meal plan or something else is going on. Like it's hard to know whether or not to to confront them and say, okay, you're lying, or okay, I believe you, must be something else. You know what I'm saying? Did you find that a little bit, Seth, of in those moments? You probably experienced that being a trainer.
Yeah. Yeah. With Dave, it was just like, I'm cool. I'm a fun, happy guy. We're buds. I respect you. You respect me. So
you don't need to lie. It's like, you don't need to lie to me.
Just tell me the truth and we'll move forward. Like, drop it. Let's go. So like, I'd be lying to say it didn't bum me out a little bit, but I'm not a guilter or shamer. So, I thanked him for coming clean, and it's like, let's get to work. Let's not dwell on it. So I think we took a negative and we turned into a positive. And there's, there's never a second of hard feelings or even disappointment. It was just like a lesson learned, opportunity to grow, and let's make ourselves better. So I think we went from like the worst moment to our best moment in a matter of 30 minutes. Yeah.
It was pretty,
yeah. It's cool. It's cool to have those experiences. Okay. Getting back to the lightning round questions. Seth, how many times do you think you said literally on the show? You literally said literally. I think I stopped counting at like 18 or 19 times in your episode.
Funny.
Do you say that a lot, or is it just kind of you don't notice it?
I don't know. I don't notice it. Maybe I'm used to it now.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I never thought of it. I've never heard that before.
Okay, I'll watch the episode again. I'll literally count. Okay, Seth, did you ever shave your beard?
Oh, without a doubt, 100%.
You would?
I would, yes.
For what? Why? What would be?
Kind of like the fat thing. Like, there's nothing that defines who I am, or I don't believe it. I don't want any labels. So, right now it just kind of morphed into a big beard. I don't focus on it so much more than other people do. It's part of my journey. It's part of my life right now. But, there's some cool new chapters for me opening up, and maybe part of that will be shaving the beard, but I don't really place that much emphasis on it. I think other people do that for me.
Other people do enough.
Yeah.
Dave, would you ever grow your beard out to match Seth's?
No.
No?
No, I'm at the max length right now. Every time I get a haircut, they trim it down.
I've spoken like a true military guy, man. You still got the military haircut and keeping it trim. I like it.
A couple of weeks I go to the barber.
Yeah. Okay. Seth, what's your favorite cheat meal? Do you still have cheat meals?
Oh, totally. Favorite cheat meal? It's still mac and cheese.
Okay.
Yeah, mac and cheese is my go-to to start this thing. I got a little bit sick of it, but now, given the opportunity, I would love a nice little bowl of mac and cheese.
Dave, what's yours?
Actually, during the process, it was my daughter's birthday, and she wanted to go to our favorite wing place, and they actually do baked wings or grilled wings. So Seth's like, just have some grilled wings. Don't have the deep fried ones. So now I've actually incorporated that. So now I'll just do grilled wings, but I have a certain sauce. I like a hot Cajun sauce. So, I'm actually doing grilled wings versus fried wings now.
Cool. Okay. Well, thank you guys so much. Like that was, I took it easy on you guys. Didn't ask you guys anything too hard, like I said. But I appreciate you guys coming on the podcast. I appreciate you, Seth, doing this Fit to Fat to Fit journey and being a part of this movement, and Dave for the inspiration that you've created for those watching the show and being an example to others. I really, really appreciate you guys so much for being a part of this journey.
Well, thanks for having us. It was amazing to go through.
Yep. Yeah, hopefully you guys will always remember this experience and learn and grow from it and pay it forward.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah,
thank you, Drew. The friendship is the coolest thing for us, I think.
What's that?
The brotherhood that Dave and I made will forever be grateful for you for that.
And I love to see that. And that's what I've noticed is every trainer and client, for the most part, on the out of all the episodes, like everyone stayed in touch and is still friends, other than maybe a couple. It's cool to see that bond that was created from the show.
Yeah.
So thank you guys once again for coming on the Fit to Fat to Fit Experience podcast. I really appreciate you guys, and please stay in touch. Thank you guys so much for listening to today's episode. We hope you enjoyed another great episode here on the podcast. We appreciate you guys supporting us, and if you guys love our podcast, please help support us by going to iTunes, subscribing, and leaving us a 5-star review. We would definitely love to hear from you. Please share it with your friends and family, people you think could benefit from the information we provide, and we will always continue to bring on great people on this podcast so that you guys can find ways to embrace and maintain a healthy lifestyle. That's the type of people we intend to bring on. So we don't just talk about diet and nutrition all the time. We bring on experts in many different fields that have to do with our health. And if you guys have recommendations or suggestions of people you'd like to have us have on the show, please let us know. You can reach out to me on social media at Fit to Fat to Fit. That's FIT number 2 FAT number 2 FIT on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat. I'm on all of those. I'll respond, I promise. Or you can follow my newsletter at fittofattofit.com. Sign up for that so you can stay in the know of future events and traveling. Just stay in touch with me as well. Lynn, her social media is at 2fitathome, number 2 FITATHOME, and her website is 2fitathome.com if you want to check out her program for designed specifically for women, and usually it's stay-at-home moms that follow her. But anyways, we appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for listening. We'll be back here with another great episode next week. So stay in touch, and we'll see you guys next time. Bye.